In Southern California, alleged members of a Latino street gang are being charged with drug trafficking and civil rights violations. Prosecutors say the azusa13 gang waged a long campaign to rid their community of African Americans. NPR's Mandali Del Barco reports on 2 decades of intimidation and violence.
Azusa is a small working-class city along the train tracks in the San Gabriel Valley, just 25 miles east of Los Angeles. This is where members of the Barrio azusa13 gang monopolize sales of cocaine, heroin, and meth, says U.S. Attorney Andre Barat.
This gang has waged an insidious 2-decade campaign of violence, fueled not only by drug dealing, but by racial animus and hatred.
The 51 defendants are being charged with federal racketeering and also civil rights violations. Barat says since 1992, they've terrorized Azusa's black residents.
This gang made a decision, what are we going to do about the African Americans in this community? We need to get rid of them. I mean, they made no bones about it, confronting African Americans in the city of Azusa to get out. You're not welcome here. And they were explicit racial epithets. F the N's. UNs are not allowed here.
Barat says gang members intimidated, beat, robbed, and kidnapped black residents and even murdered a teenager. Azusa police and federal agents interviewed informants, witnesses, and victims to collect evidence that azusa13 members paid taxes to the Mexican Mafia prison gang for narcotics sales. Police Chief Robert Garcia says targeting blacks was part of their business plan.
Some of it is just racial prejudice, but some of it does interfere with the business enterprise of the drug sales.
They wanted to make sure they had the strong market share.
Lalisa Morgan has lived with her family in Azusa for the past 10 years. Sitting at a city park, she tries to make sense of the gang's game plan.
They want to make sure, even if I'm not black, I'm black, but I'm not gang affiliated, I may have relatives who are gang affiliated. So therefore, I can't be allowed to stay here because my relatives may come visit me and infiltrate this area.
As a social worker, Morgan says she's sometimes afraid to go into certain parts of Azusa, and her children have been harassed.
My son was jumped in 2nd grade.
She says her older sons are also constantly threatened by gang members.
My son said, oh, if you look at them back, they sweat you. But if you look down, like you're scared, then they're trying to leave you alone.
The hate crimes were even worse when Morgan's friend Claudia Owens Shields moved to Azusa in the late 1990s. She remembers one night when 3 African-American families were firebombed.
Molotov cocktails were thrown into their homes.
After that, the city created a Human Relations Commission that Owens Shields now coordinates. Lalisa Morgan is a commissioner. Every year, residents gather for a peace rally, and high school students get trained in tolerance and leadership. Owens Shields and the police chief say these efforts have helped reduce hate crimes to less than 1 a year.
I know that we're making a difference, but I don't feel like this indictment is a reason to get comfortable. This is an amazing victory. We won this battle in an ongoing war.
Owens Shields points out the KKK is just next door in neighboring San Gabriel Valley cities, but she says at least Azusa is confronting racial intolerance head-on. Lalisa Morgan says she's determined to live among her mostly Latino neighbors in Azusa, the city she moved to from South Central LA.
I found a niche of people that supported me and my family, and we became our own little family here because this is my home. Regardless of what the azusa13s think they want to do, this is my home.
If the alleged members of azusa13 are convicted, federal prison might be their home for the next 30 years. Mandali Del Barco, NPR News.
This